Hi, it's Jo, and today I'm going to be watching How to Get Away with Murder, Season 5, Episode 4, It's Her Kid, which I'm guessing going to be in reference to Bonnie's kid. These flash forwards are destroying me. This season has been so good so far, but oh my goodness, I just need to see what's going to happen next. Let's go.
This is not Bonnie, this is her sister.
Just please not a twin sister, please not a twin sister. Is this the night of the wedding? Oh, she's going to the salsa dancing. Just gonna have fun for the whole series from now on.
Starting today, we are going to be good people who respect boundaries and
history. You're sad for carrying this much. Here, compile the list.
Signing this HR form.
thank you.
Knock out some more white folks in court again.
You know that's all I look forward to.
Well, as long as you don't snort like you used to. It's worse now. Believe that?
Why does he think he's gonna be staying on your couch?
Because I was gonna tell him after his psyche eval.
You need to know now that the best case scenario is that he goes to a mental facility.
Are you hearing yourself right now?
It's not the same.
How about this? You tell Bonnie I tell my pops.
If you wanted to know so badly, why'd you come to me?
Because you know her better.
Oh, so you want me to do your dirty work? First Bonnie, now I have to save your father?
He's the reason I did this, Annalise. You pushed me to talk to him again. Now here I am, every week visiting. Finally feel like I'm getting my pops back. Maybe Bonnie's son deserves the same chance.
It's not the same.
Please let Bonnie decide that.
She doesn't want to know any of this.
How do you know that?
I don't. But you don't have a right to mess with anyone else's trauma. Let's get the hell out of here.
It's a hard thing to know what to do ethically, in a way. You know, Bonnie seems to have continued with her life despite that. Like, she's moving past it, trying her best to move past it. So this could just push her backwards, or this could be what she's always wanted to hear, and I don't even know what the right thing to do would be. I assume we'll find out with what they do or don't do, and whether that's the right or wrong thing.
My question is, did you know Annalise does background checks?
I'm glad there are no secrets.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm very glad it's not identical twin. That would have just been overdone in so many shows.
You have to touch it to know that.
I couldn't work at a place like that. All the clients were so... oof.
Can I ask you a question?
As long as it's not about that ninny out there.
Exactly. How are you okay representing someone like that?
Well, being clueless doesn't make our money less green.
Our money comes directly from the exploitation of poor black and brown people.
And our clinic is helping those same black and brown people get out of prison.
So you're okay with just feeding the system?
You chose to work in the system the minute you came to law school.
No, I came here to blow up the system.
I am blowing up the system. That's why we need to win Nate Sr.'s trial so my SCOTUS case doesn't become Robbins v. California, Grady v. Corbin.
I don't know those.
That's because they were overturned. But we're not going to let that happen, no matter how many shots the governor fires at us. We're going to take from the rich and give to the poor. Or you anti-Robin Hood, too? You want to do some good in the world? Go to the DA's office and pick up a package.
Well, if that's her son, at least they're gonna meet finally. I find these sort of flashbacks like my pet hate. Like, obviously we know he went into the car and got it from him. Trusting your audience that they're gonna know what's going on. Does he already know stuff about them? Oh, what's his deal? You haven't seen Ash yet in the flash forwards, so that's concerning.
Of course. Tell us if truth, Gabriel's sketchy, right?
Tell me why you
I really want this case to go well.
I was...
Sit.
Miss Stevens.
Does this mean you don't hate me anymore?
Yesterday I hated you at 10, today
You're an 8.
It's an improvement.
All she does is lie.
So she did phone up to get him in. I mean, he'd done a lot of good work on class action. Like, he deserved it.
You know you'll be there for her. Just like you've been here for me.
be my second chair.
Talk to her about what you found out.
Congrats. Connor,
I mean,
now is not the best.
calmly talk to her about it.
Hey, saying you were suicidal. Yeah, because I needed some help. Well, and you always have a reason for everything, so why me? You know what? This is your...
Oh, Connor. Why did she pick him, though? Because if it was for just, like, a reason that's fairly understandable, she could have just told him. Is he going to tell him now that he's not going to go back to Nate's house?
I get to see you. Yeah. That's a win in my book.
There were a few seasons ago where I was like, what's the point of Nate? And now I'm like wanting to cry for him. All the DNA stuff. She's so happy. What is he doing here?
Said he destroyed the file.
I know. Come here. Come. It's all you.
Oh no, flash forward time. Only 1.5 months, so stressed. So Connor doesn't have any idea. Because if he was involved in covering, he wouldn't have gone to, oh my gosh, she's calling Nate. Bonnie has Nate's phone. Oh, what is going on? Or is that Oliver's phone and Connor's calling? No, she's got Nate's. Why does she have Nate's phone? What is going on? It's the same night. Alan's going home from the wedding, yeah. She knows what's happened. Oh god. Like, I feel the same way, Annalise. Okay, so I'll get into who died at the wedding thing in a minute. So first of all, we found out, thank goodness, it wasn't an identical twin, because that would just be such an overdone thing if Bonnie had an identical twin sister. But Bonnie's sister, and I think ultimately it was the right decision to tell Bonnie. It's crushing that it causes, the effects it will have on her right now, but I think in the long run, if Annalise had kept that from her, that would just have been unforgivable. And I mean, it's going to complicate things for Bonnie when she feels like she signed the form, she was ready to like get in a consensual relationship, to kind of get her life on track, in a sense, kind of not being held back by what she'd been through, that she was kind of keeping things going and she was getting past it, and all of her insecurities because of it, whereas now that might cause more of an issue, especially because she's not yet told him any of her past. Though I think, from what we've seen, the DA, whose name I can't remember, seems like the interim DA, whatever his title is, he seems like a good person. He seems like he cares about Bonnie. So I think if she told him, he might be shocked, but I don't think he'd think any differently of her or any less of her. And if he did, he would not be worth it in the first place. So I don't know, I hope in a way he can be there for her, unless he's secretly shady, in which case we can get rid of him. Nate's father, I was really glad that he said the insanity thing he needed to say, and also the fact that when Nate told him that he wouldn't be able to come home, he was just able to see that the mental institution would actually be a much better place than where he was now, and he'd get to see Nate, and he did that really well, and that was really emotional. And then I did feel a bit bad for Nate with his girlfriend breaking up with him, but he hadn't been treating her the best. And I suppose he could probably fix that if he wants to. Connor, he's his own worst enemy 90% of the time. I mean, I get why he was so insecure over, because he's insecure enough that did he deserve to be in, and then thinking about the fact that Annalise looked into all of them, she picked all of them for a reason. I'm wondering what his reason was. What was Michaela's reason as well? There's the two, we don't have an obvious thing for what their reason is, right? So he doesn't know why she picked him in the first place, and finding out that he didn't earn his way back in. But then I think in a way he did earn his way back in. I mean, okay, he failed out, so I could see why the school would just view him as a black mark, you know, he failed. But I think helping a Supreme Court case, being he was the person with Annalise from the beginning, more or less, of the court case. He did so much of that work that he earned the right to be back at law school, if you know what I mean. He might have been at his lowest point when he came to Annalise and she gave him the help, but then he gave her a lot of help back. So I think he did earn the right to continue his law school studies, but obviously she would have had to be the one that put the call in because they couldn't accept him back because he had a black mark. Maybe a different law school might have done, I don't know. So I think with that sense, I feel so bad for him, and he's going to be even more insecure now than he was. And oh, it would have meant loads to him to be the second chair on Nate Leahy's case, because he's been the one that has been fighting for his clients, and every time anything comes up with the clients, he wants to fight for them. He does believe very strongly in this and has been there from the beginning, so I think it's sort of his case too. Obviously it's Annalise's case way before it's Connor's, but you know, he's sort of the next person out of all the lawyers on this case. But Annalise was having a great time at their wedding, so if things are a bit awkward with her and Connor, I don't know that she'd be having as good a time, so I guess they just get things back to normal. I mean, with this lot, they say unforgivable things to each other every other week, so their argument was actually fairly civilised for them, so I think they'll get past that. Okay, who died at the wedding? Hashtag who died at the wedding. This show, so I'm still really happy that we know Connor's alive, I can't lie. Michaela is the only person who has ideas of what's up because she saw Bonnie with the blood. Connor, if he was part of it, would have probably not gone to Michaela in the way he did and asked her the question, so I'm going to assume Connor's got nothing to do with it, and Laurel, because they both seemed genuinely like, where's Oliver? And Laurel hadn't known where Christopher was, and she was kind of like, oh god, where's he got to? I left him there, I left him in the nursery, I left him with Frank, I left him with Nate, I don't know who was dead. And so she's found Christopher and then thought there was nothing wrong. Whereas obviously Frank told Annalise something that made her slap him. Now that could have just been Christopher was missing, or that could be that he's just murdered someone, or Bonnie's murdered someone, or someone's been murdered. Now the fact that Bonnie had Nate's phone is very interesting. Could that be to do with the whole thing with finding her kid, how they're intermingled there? Is Nate the one that's dead? Because that would also be like if they just earn his dad freedom to go to a mental home, and one of the best things about that is Nate coming to see him and then Nate dies. That'd be quite sad. So that could be Nate. It could be Oliver, but I think if they kill Oliver at his wedding reception, I will be so angry. So I hope, I mean, I would have said Connor or Oliver, but obviously Connor appears unless they're going to throw some weird time loop again, but no, they can't do. Unless someone else is going to die at the wedding, Connor's fairly much safe. I'm very scared for Oliver. Now, Annalise's reaction at the end, now that could just be because it was someone, I mean, Nate is someone that she's got a long history with, she loves, but basically any of the main characters are dying, I think she could have their reaction to, but also just, even if it was someone like Laurel's mum, who we don't care about, I mean, I don't think it will be, but you know, if that was who was dead, Annalise would potentially still react like that, because where things are now, they are moving away from all the murders they committed. They are moving on with their lives, all of them. She's done her class action. She is doing real good in the world. She's, like she said, you know, she's changing the world and being able to feel good about that. She's got the law students. They're not murdering anyone at the moment. They're just getting on with it. They're taking part in her clinic. They are working hard with their school. Laurel's got the baby, she's with her baby, she's able to raise her baby. Connor and Oliver are getting married. Nate is moving on with his life. Okay, he's just lost his girlfriend, but he's getting his dad back. Bonnie, I mean, I think she was upset about this episode, but she was moving on. Kind of everyone was doing well. There hadn't really been any murdery things for a while, and it looked like there was a real light on the horizon, that they were all heading towards happily ever after. And so if then someone else has been murdered and they've got to go back into the whole covering it up and all that trauma it's going to bring up, I could definitely understand Annalise reacting like that, even if she wasn't particularly upset about who was dead, but the chances are she'll be also upset about who was dead. I'm very stressed again. 1.5 months, I need the season finale to really have an idea. Oh, thank you for watching.